Hello, anyone not still living in the 1970s. We interrupt your day to bring you this announcement. Husker Ninja is in the building. Alright, guys, we are here today with episode number 3 of the South Alabama Jaguars Online Dynasty right here on NCAA 14. Today, the 2-0 South Alabama Jaguars are at home as they open Sun Belt play against the 1-1 Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And you can see right here, we are going to take a look at the Sun Belt standings. You can see only 2 teams have a loss so far in our division, and none of the teams have played a conference game yet. But you can see on my friend's division, his Texas State team is 2-0. They beat two top 25 teams already. But hello everyone and welcome to Lad Peebles Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. Sun Belt play kicks off this weekend as the 2-0 South Alabama Jaguars play host to the 1-1 Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. South Alabama comes into today's game 2-0 with wins on the road against Duke and at home against Eastern Michigan. And it'll be a 2nd and 8 here. South Alabama will get the ball to start the game. Second down, they got it at about their own 22, maybe. They'll give it to Johnson. Johnson's got a hole. Xavier Johnson to the sideline. It's a foot race, and he's going to win it inside the 10 and into the end zone for the South Alabama touchdown. And just like that, the Jaguars are on the board 2 plays into the game. They give the ball to Xavier Johnson, and the senior tailback found a seam, hit the sideline, and then he was off to the races. There were 4 Western Kentucky defenders in pursuit, but none of them could catch up as South Alabama races out to the 7-0 lead. The ensuing Hilltopper drive here, it is 2nd and inches. They'll give it to Furby. Furby's breaking a couple tackles. Furby's across midfield, across the 45 actually, down to about the 44 of South Alabama. Gain of 13 right there for Furby. It'll set up a first down. Back to pass now is White. Going deep. It's picked off. Lawrence, the strong safety, coming up with the turnover, and South Alabama's going to get the ball back. Nigel Lawrence just did a good job in coverage. It was actually, there was another defender there too, so it was not a great throw. Not a great decision, but looking to make them pay off the interception. Now it is a 3rd and 4 here from their own 22. Under 5:20 to go opening quarter. Orr throws underneath to Rinkemeyer. Andrew Rinkemeyer sheds 1 tackle, and he's out across the 30. Getting an 8 right there and a first down. Move those chains for the Jaguars. It'll set up a 2nd down and 6 here now. Coming up on 4 minutes to go opening quarter. South Alabama trying to stretch their lead to 14. Try and double it right here on this drive and take advantage of the interceptions. They will give it to Xavier Johnson, right up the middle. He's got to get a 7 and a first down later in the drive now. They're at their own 46. It is a 4th and 5, and Christian Horn rolling the dice saying, let's go for it. Orr's pass is going to be knocked down by Tanner Reeves, and that was maybe not the smartest decision. But nonetheless, it is incomplete, and Western Kentucky gets the ball in good field position on first down. They're going to throw it right there to Dion Yelder, and they're in business inside the 25 of South Alabama. First down right here from about the Jaguar 22. White throws on the screen. It's picked off. Flood has all kinds of daylight in front of him, and no Western Kentucky defender going to catch him. Inside the 10, Flood's going to dive into the end zone. He picks off the screen pass, returns it all the way back. That's what, an 76-yard return maybe? Well, at the 24, 23, something like that. Flott just jumped in front of the screen pass, and he was off to the races, no one there to catch him. And Bobby Flott has just doubled South Alabama's lead as the Jaguars defense gets in on the scoring on their own. It's now 14-0 Jaguars as you take a look. They have given up a fair amount of yardage, averaging almost 9 yards a play, but they've got the 2 interceptions, including the pick 6 just a moment ago. Now it's 3rd and 10. Western Kentucky desperately trying to get back into the game. They'll throw it to Nakarius Fant, but Fant will not get the first down needed. And so that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Big plays dominating that opening frame as South Alabama jumps out to a 14-0 lead over the Hilltoppers here through 1 and mobile. It is a 3rd and 10 here. They throw underneath that man, Schrinkemeyer. He makes a man miss. Rinkemeyer's off to the races. Inside the 5, he's going to dive into the end zone. The 3rd big play touchdown of the day for South Alabama. And just like that, they're out to a 21-0 lead. Just not even 15 seconds into the 2nd quarter. It was a nice catch there on 3rd and 10 wide open. Rinkemeier made one man miss and then outran the rest of the Hilltopper defenders into the end zone. And South Alabama has come to play here. The big plays have come early and often, and they are all over the visiting Hilltoppers to this point. As again, you take a look at this team defense. I mean, they played solidly. They got 2 turnovers and a 3-and-out so far to their name. It is a 2nd and 4 here on the ensuing Western Kentucky drive. They're desperately trying to get back into it as they are down 3 scores here, not even a minute into the 2nd quarter. Weidel keeping himself. He's got a gain of 9 and a first down. Now it's a first down from about the 41, call it, of South Alabama. White going deep, looking deep. It's intercepted. Thompson with the pick. That's the 3rd interception of the day for the South Alabama defense. And now they could really put Western Kentucky into a world of hurt. 7:07 still to go in the opening half. A 3rd and 3. We're now down to 5:45 to go here in the first half. South Alabama cruising. They got a 3-score lead. They're pitching the shutout. They'll throw underneath. There's Rinkemeier. It's a big play again across midfield. Andrew Rinkemeier again at 26 on 3rd and 3. He's already over 100 yards receiving on 4 catches. And South Alabama really looking to put this one away and take a 4-score lead here before halftime. And they're done now. It's a 2nd and 5 from about the Hilltopper 42. 4.5 to go here, opening half of play. And they're continuing to really win the time possessions. The throw underneath is caught by Samori Collier on the slant. That's good for a gain of 12. And they're just moving ever closer to the red zone. Now it's 2nd and 9 from the Western Kentucky 30. 3:15 to go in the opening half. And despite the big plays here early, they are still controlling the time possession. As that is dumped underneath there to Sam Harris, gain of 11, and another South Alabama first down. There in the drive, it is now 3rd and 9 from the, call it 17 of Western Kentucky. 1:20 to go in the opening half. Orth back to pass. Looks, and that's intercepted at the 2-yard line by Ward. So Western Kentucky's defense going to get a turnover right there, and they will halt the damage for right now. They will stop the bleeding. It remains a 3-score game. The pass was a little in front of Rinkemeier, but on 3rd and 9 with pressure coming, it's hard to force that. I think it's hard to blame that throw, but again, it could have been thrown better. I think if you throw it a little bit under, maybe it's caught for a touchdown. Maybe there's someone else more open you just missed. But first down now, White going. It's picked off again. Flawed with his 2nd INT of the day, and just like that, South Alabama's back in business. One play after the interception, they're going to throw it right back to South Alabama as Flawed just jumps the pass, and he comes up with his 2nd interception of the day. And so now South Alabama really looking to try and take advantage of the turnover deep in their own side of the field. Orth going deep, caught by Rinkemeier, breaks the tackle, he's inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal, South Alabama. 5 catches, 128 yards, and a score today for Andrew Rinkemeier. And the junior tight end has been tearing apart this Western Kentucky defense. It's 1st and goal from the 4 now. Orth back to pass, looks on the slant. That was not a smart decision. And that's going to be intercepted in the end zone by Ward. That's his 2nd. And a couple of penalties would actually lead to Western Kentucky being able to kick a field goal before halftime. So they're on the board. South Alabama's defense has played pretty well. They've got 4 first-half interceptions, but red zone interceptions on the last 2 offensive drives for the Jaguars have kept Western Kentucky within striking distance. It's 21-3 South Alabama at the break. A 3rd and 9 here for Western Kentucky as we begin the second half of play. They throw the screen. Leon Allen blown up in the backfield for a loss of 4. I was just going to say this is a big drive here for the Hilltoppers as they are going to attempt to make it a 2-score game and get back in it. But on the screen pass, it's a loss of 4, and instead they go 3 and out. First down now from their own 38 for South Alabama on the ensuing drive. They'll throw underneath his or it's Rinkemeyer again. Rinkemeyer across midfield on a gain of 16. 6 catches for 144 yards and a score. And Rinkemeyer has just been the go-to receiver early and often this season, and especially in this game. He is really tearing it up so far today. They're driving out 2nd and 3 from the Hilltopper 40. They'll give to Johnson. Xavier Johnson got a big hole, spins, falls forward, gain of 13. First down, move those chains for South Alabama. And Xavier Johnson with 13 carries for 120 yards. They're driving now, it's 3rd and 18. They'll throw to Johnson on the screen. And Xavier Johnson will get a gain of 9, and that might put it into no man's land where you think about going for it on 4th and 9 from the 26. And that's in fact what South Alabama is going to do. As a field goal, even if it's a long field goal, even if you make it, it's still only a 3-score game. You're going to throw to Rinkemeyer right there, and Rinkemeyer 15 yards and a first down on 4th down. You know who it's going to. He's been the go-to target all day, and he's still open on the slant on 4th and long. Western Kentucky with no answer for Andrew Rinkemeyer, as he's just been a one-man wrecking crew in the passing game so far. Now it's 3rd and 4 from the 5. Or throws to the end zone. Touchdown, South Alabama. Andrew Rinkemeyer makes the catch in the end zone. He found his junior tight end on the slant. And now it's 28-3 South Alabama. 2:29 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And that one might put this game away with as little success as Western Kentucky has had offensively. It is 3rd down and 10 on the ensuing Hilltopper drive. White back to pass, going deep. Nearly intercepted. Fly nearly had the hat trick. That was nearly his 3rd interception of the day. The hat trick on interception. Instead of 4th down, Western Kentucky has to punt. You take a look at the yardage so far. 327 yards in the 3rd quarter. Well, through 3 quarters rather, not in the 3rd quarter alone. But through 3 quarters, South Alabama with 327 yards. And they lead Western Kentucky 28-3 here in Mobile. It is actually a 4th and 4 as we begin the final quarter of play. Going for it again, that pass is going to be dropped. Orth had a man open out of the backfield in Trey Minter, and he dropped it. So good starting field position for Western Kentucky as White's going to go to work trying to pull off the improbable comeback. There's a first down right there on a nice throw to the sideline. Later in the drive, now 3rd and 3. They're going to run the option. White trying to find the corner. He's inside the 20 down to about the 15. Gain a 9, first down Western Kentucky. And you just have to wonder, if not for those 4 first-half interceptions, exactly what the outcome of this game would be. As he's thrown to the end zone, and there's Cameron Eccles-Looper for the touchdown. Western Kentucky has cut it back to a 3-score game. As again, you take a look at the offense at a glance. This offense has been firing on all cylinders so far for South Alabama. The only negative is the 2 red zone interceptions on the last 2 first-half drives. They'll go Johnson on the counter, and Johnson's got the first down before he even meets a Western Kentucky defender. That's a gain of 11, and it'll put Johnson to the 140-yard mark on the day. It is 2nd and 6 here, just looking to try and run out the clock. They're going to give it to Trey Minter now. Minter bouncing off a tackle. Trey Minter's got some daylight. Minter's got a big hole inside the 5 down to about the 2. 41 yards for Trey Minter, the backup tailback. He bounced off his own offensive lineman, and he found a big hole down the sideline, and he nearly scored. And so it'll be 1st and goal from the 1, 3:20 to go. Now it's 3rd and goal. Orth back to pass. Got a man in the end zone. It's Foster. The 3rd passing touchdown of the day. This time it's Denzel Foster, the third string tailback. He's making the catch out of the backfield, and that should be the icing on the cake as it's back to a 25-point game at 35-10, pending the extra point. Now it's 3rd and 3 with 2:51 left, and this game has got to be over. As the second string defense comes in, they'll throw underneath to Towner for a gain of 10, but the second string defense is in the ball game now. They're giving the backups some playing time, and it'll be meaningful as Western Kentucky tries to mount an improbable comeback. There's a nice gain on first down. You get another first down of their own, plus 15 for a face mask. That's on Jay Woods, the cornerback, and they got it at the 33 of South Alabama now. Now it's 1st and 10 from the South Alabama 33. White back to pass. Feeling the pressure going deep. That's somehow caught. That was actually good coverage, and it looked like it was picked for a second. But he just fitted into a tight window to Mike White. He got 170 yards in the score, but 4 interceptions. Now it's 3rd and 8, and White's throwing out of the back of the end zone. This will set up a 4th down and 8. The game's already over, basically, but this would really put the icing on the cake. White, feel the pressure, he snapped! Down goes Mike White by a loss of 8. And the backup defensive unit comes in, and they get the stop on 4th down. They turn Western Kentucky over on downs. It looked like it was Watley there to make the sack. And that will do it for this game. The final score is South Alabama 35, Western Kentucky 10. And yeah, it was just a bludgeoning for South Alabama. 440 yards of offense compared to 223. Only 2 turnovers. Western Kentucky had 4. 6 of 11 on 3rd down, 2 of 4 on 4th. 4 of 2 in the red zone. Both teams were actually 50% in the red zone. So that actually wasn't that great. But again, just total yardage. 524 total yards compared to 504, and that was only due to so many kickoffs, 172 kick return yards for the Hilltoppers. But 21-minute advantage in the time of possession, and this was a dominant win by South Alabama here in the conference opener. If they can keep playing like that, they could surprise some people in the Sun Belt this season. Orth, a 163.7 QB rating, 15 of 24. He went off. He had the 2 red zone interceptions, but he also had 3 touchdowns. Most of his passing yards were actually to Rinkemeyer. Johnson had 17 carries, 140 yards, averaging 8.2 a carry. Had 1 touchdown, a long of 77. So Xavier Johnson really put in some work. Rinkemeyer, you can see right there, 8 catches, 164 yards, 2 scores, no drops. A long of 64. Harris had 2 for 20. Foster had 1 for a yard. McCray had 1 for 6. Collier had 1 for 12. Minner 1 for 7. Johnson 1 for 9. So all in all, a very good offensive day. The one thing to be concerned about were the 2 red zone interceptions. And not many tackles to go around today. There are a bunch with 3, a bunch with 2, a bunch with 1. Jeffrey Watley had a tackle for loss. Bobby Flott had 2 picks, nearly had a third, would have been a hat trick in interceptions. Lawrence and Thompson also had a pick. Flott and Robinson had deflections. It was just all around a great game for South Alabama, and they dominate Western Kentucky in all aspects of the game here and reach a 35-10 victory at home. That will do it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day, everybody. But our final score here from Mobile, South Alabama 35, Western Kentucky 10. Have a great day.